sometimes I can be a bit naive and idealistic when it comes to my thought process on which fight should get made. So I made a video saying that I thought that maybe it'd be an interesting matchup to see Chris Weidman get a shot at Israel Adesanya. I mean, the middleweight division is stacked full of contenders, most of which the top guys Israel has already disposed and dispatched of. So besides running back something we've already seen, which the rankings might suggest, such as a Robert Whittaker rematch, I was thinking maybe we could put him in there against somebody he hasn't seen yet who poses a different type of challenge. Now, as soon as I make this video saying I think Weidman should get a shot at Izzy, and I post it, a day or two later, Dana White takes that idea and pretty much and puts it out of ever even being a thought to be thought about. He says, hey, let's do it. Let's get the super fight. Let's get middleweight champion Israel Adesanya versus light heavyweight champion Jon Blachowicz. Let's make that fight happen. I mean, that's a great matchup. But what does it do for the contenders in either division? You've got a list, a long line of people that want to get a rematch or want to get a crack at the champion, Israel Adesanya. I mean, he's not making very many friends out there in that division. I mean, there's plenty of people, Kevin Holland, for example, that is stepping in to fight Jack Hermanson because Darren Till is pulled out. So you got him. Apparently he had some kind of backstage beef at some point with Israel Adesanya, and he got something to prove, saying that Izzy can't punk him. So the list of people in the middleweight division that want to fight Adesanya because he's the champion and they want to take his spot, fighters that possibly have earned it, which, as I said, we've already seen him fight most of those guys, they're not going to get a shot, at least not yet. And Jan Blachowicz, newly crowned light heavyweight champion after demolishing Dominic Reyes, he's going to fight a really skilled fighter in Israel Adesanya. It's going to be a crossweight championship fight to determine a champ. And obviously, I don't think Jan Blachowicz, if he were to emerge victorious, would go down in weight to defend his middleweight title. I mean, he's already the light heavyweight champion, so what's he going to do that for? And here's the thing. You've got Glover Teixeira, who just won his fight last week in exciting fashion. He weathered the storm from Santos. He took some heavy blows in the first round and pretty much weathered that storm and dominated the rest of the round and almost finished it in the first. And then he got knocked down in the second round, only to end up submitting in the second round, getting the submission win. So Teixeira's been on a win streak, I think 5 fights, and he's calling out for a championship fight in the light heavyweight division. He's saying, hey, I've earned it. Hold off on the Israel Adesanya, Jan Blachowicz cross weight fight, champ determining fight, and let me, Glover Teixeira, get a shot. I earned it. So you got contenders in either division thinking that they should get their shot at their respective titles first before Dana White pits the middleweight champion Israel Adesanya versus the light heavyweight champion Jan Blachowicz against each other. And they've got a point, because idealistically, that's what happens. Middleweight champion defends his title in his division. Light heavyweight champion defends his title in his division. And all the contenders that have been fighting and vying for that spot get their crack at it. But Dana White is a businessman. And without Dana White leading the charge and being the president for the past 20 years of the UFC wouldn't even be here. And so he's going to make the money fight. He's going to make the business decision. And it's an exciting fight for fight fans. It's not just a business decision that alienates fight fans. It actually excites fight fans. But it alienates the contenders in their respective divisions. So, yeah, Teixeira looked good in his win. But he's 41 years old. He had a crack at the title when he fought Jon Jones. He lost. Not saying he doesn't deserve another shot. But, I mean, if you're Dana White, you're going to get the champ and the champ and make them collide. You're going to see who emerges. And realistically, if Israel Adesanya moves up and he wins the 205-pound title, the light heavyweight title, what's the point of him going back down to middleweight? Even if you can easily make middleweight after moving up to fight for light heavyweight, if his ultimate goal, if he's got his sights set on fighting Jon Jones, who's now a heavyweight, why would he go from light heavyweight back down to middleweight? If his eye is on the prize, Israel Adesanya, if his eye is on the prize and that prize is Jon Jones, in the ultimate mega fight with Jon Jones, who is now at heavyweight, why would Adesanya go from middleweight to light heavyweight back to middleweight to defend that title? I think he goes from middleweight to light heavyweight. And as I said before, if he has a chance at beating Jon Jones, I believe he's got to get past Jan Blachowicz first, just to test himself at that higher weight against the harder hits, the stronger man. So I'm no expert. I just call it how I see it. Izzy fights Jan. He beats Jan. He's going up. He's trying to fight Jon Jones at heavyweight or some sort of catch weight, light heavyweight, catch weight for that champ, that double champ. Maybe he'll be triple champ. But I see him eventually vacating the middleweight title. So naive as I was, as idealistic as I was to want to see the champions defend the belts in their division, it's actually better and more exciting for us fight fans. Sorry, contenders. You guys will just have to fight for a vacant title, I guess, so long as you're in the middleweight division in this case. But I see Izzy beating Jan Blachowicz. I take Izzy against pretty much anybody from middleweight to light heavyweight, and maybe even some heavyweights. Who knows? But I'm interested to see how it goes. I got Izzy pretty much against anybody near his size, and Jan Blachowicz is going to be next, and it's probably going to be a short-lived run at the top as a champion at 205 for Jan Blachowicz, because he's going to face an absolute phenom in Israel, the last style bender, Adesanya. I'm no expert. It's called how I see it. You want to know.